We've talked about the consequences of the Industrial Revolution. Now, of the update. Glove case stuff is going crazy. Chroma cases are up. Chroma reds are up. You know, I'll just say it. Every red is up. Even since last week, since I made this list. But yet, it seems like, right now, knives are maybe, like, a little bit stuck in price. Like, are they going up? This? No, not really. Butterfly knife, gamma Doppler. They're kind of the same over the last 5 days. Falchion knife, field-tested lore. Over the last 5 days, basically the same. Basically the same. Something that, yeah, would be a little bit more interesting. Butterfly knife fade. How have these changed? From 2,800? But, yeah, again, very subtle. Flip knife emerald, we can do that. $2,000 right now. They were 3.2, dropped down to 1,000. And then since the start of the month, very slight upward movement. Very slight. Like, it's interesting how much reds have gone up, yet how little knives have gone up. Talon Doppler. We'll check something out of the Prisma case as well. Good idea. Phase 2. Since the start of the month, up about $200. That's the same amount of money that the Butterfly Knife Fade is up. Not even percent. Money. And again, if we look at Prisma Reds, how much have they gone up in the last 5 days? I would assume over double. I would say double. So, chat, question. Would you, right now, at this point in time, rather be buying a knife? As we're seeing, they've kind of paused. The price is just sort of stable right now over the last week. Would you rather buy a knife right now? Or buy the reds that trade up to the knives right now? The things that have doubled in the last week. Hey, have you heard that skins make you play the game better? Try Skins Monkey, a trading site where you can instantly trade skins safely and easily. Pick your skins, explore thousands of available items, and then trade to get new ones right away. And if it's your first time, you could use code ARROW to get up to $5 for free on your first trade. And if you want to buy skins, with code ARROW, you'll get an extra 5% on top of the 30% deposit bonus every time. That's, let me get a calc, 35% more skins. They also have daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways, so use code ARROW to trade out your old skins and buy new ones. Link is in the description. It seems very split. Half of the chat is saying knife, half of the chat is saying reds. It seems that we haven't hit the equilibrium yet. It's almost like, right now, it's still too profitable to be doing trade-ups. Even with knives not recovering. Would you rather buy a knife or open a case? Bro, if, like, it's not the same. It's, would you rather have cases? Obviously not opening them, because that's sort of what the reds are. They're the keys in the case. They're the fodder. Or would you rather have a knife? Something that you can actually use. Thing is, I'm obviously very bullish on the market. I don't think I've hid the fact that I am. But right now, especially with like this at $140, a $700 Chroma trade up, it's right now I think reds might be a little bit too expensive. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know, it is what it is. It's just $700 for a trade up for like a 20% chance of getting something actually good. But obviously, if people are willing to spend it, they're willing to spend it. Like, out of a case, the chance of getting something good is 1 in 20,000 rather than 2 in 10 chance, a 1 in 5 chance. It makes sense, kinda, but also $700 for a Neon Rider minimal wear trade up is crazy. This right here, for 30% chance at profit. Gamblers will always gamble. Reds will go up. Guys, at what price are you no longer doing a Chroma trade up? $700 at 1,000. Guys, this is going to be the ultimate cope, and I don't even believe in this. Like, that's how bad of cope it is. Each Chroma case, right, is $4. And on average, you have to open 385 cases. That's $1,500 worth of cases to get a Chroma knife. But that's not even including the keys. So this is how much on average you have to spend to open a Chroma knife. And people were doing that. People were willingly opening Chroma cases. So wait, hold on. The problem with this is knives used to be more expensive, of course, when people were willing to do this. Knives have gone down by basically half. But then that would mean we should technically be at a willingness of $1,250 for one trade up. I still think it's crazy, though. I still think it's crazy. Because at least with cases, it was like slow roll. You get more content out of it rather than just one. Like, I'm just thinking, like, as someone who would gamble, like, it's kind of more fun to slowly use your roll than just put it all on red. At least that's that if you're not a complete degenerate, right? Okay, maybe I'm thinking as too newbie of a gambler. I don't know. I think I'm just more risk adverse. So a case would be like, yeah, but maybe from those 385 cases, I could get 2 knives. Therefore, you know, and then from those cases, you can also get reds, which are money back kind of nowadays. Bro, gambling is so stupid. Guys, just don't gamble. Right, bro. Like, looking at these numbers, I used to spend $2,500 expecting a knife. And now I have the chance to spend $700 on a knife. Or to get a assured knife. Bro, I might actually be stupid. Guys, this is why I don't gamble anymore. Y'all know me. I'm not a gambler. No, but like, kind of does still make more sense to spend $700 on a trade up where you're assured of getting a knife than spending $2,500 for a chance to get one knife. And I think that's why trade ups are still going up in price, and probably why knives right now are staying flat. Like, they're on a straight line right now. And it's probably also because people are like, how many knives are really going to get traded up to? And on the other side of things, the gamblers are like, gamble, 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 open a case, trade it up, trade it up. And then the people who want to buy a knife are like, sitting back, relaxing. Do I want to get a Doppler right now? But who knows? Who knows? To me, it is very interesting that knives have sort of just chilled over the last week. Guys, why do you think that knives have chilled? Because no one's buying. No one's buying. FOMO buying stopping. Demand hasn't been met. Because they're too expensive again. Uncertainty and covert hoarding. No one wants to sell. So guys, I know I made a whole video the other day on, yeah, knives. I'm expecting them to go higher than they were before. Like, just as a hypothesis, as a theory, whatever you want to call it. But if there is this much, like, uncertainty, I think that's going to be... That just is the real killer. Because the demand is not going to be as crazy as we originally thought, right? It just... Bro, trade up $700, you get this. Or not this, rather. Something from the Roma collection. You get this. You do another $700 trade up, you get... you get this. But in field tested. Out of the Gamma collection. Like, I don't think, and this is, again, a think, I don't think the supply will be as high, will be as massive as people really think. But, again, there is that uncertainty, I guess, because the knives haven't gone up in the last week. Like, guys, people were saying, wait to the 30th, wait to the 30th. That's going to be the dip. It didn't dip. Stuff stayed the same price and hasn't moved since the 30th. When do we wait until now? Like, what are people waiting for? Because the chat is saying they're not buying. Like, what are we waiting for now? The reversal. The great reversal. Yes! Wait, this makes sense. Everyone who sold on this day, just for an example, there was 257 Phase 2 Dopplers, M9s. Let's just look at all of them. There was 1,000 Dopplers listed. In one day, over 150 sold. In another day, another 100 sold. In the next week, it looks like probably 300 sold. But these were all for incredibly low prices, right? Now that prices are up, within those 7 days, people started trade reversing. So those people who had that supply are now stuck with their knives because they trade reversed their knives. Hundreds of knives. This is just for the Dopplers of but this is just for the M9s, right? If we look at Karambits, Karambit Marble Fade, see how many of these possibly could have been trade reversed. Okay, so 537 sold to 385. 387. It's 150 knives in a week. If even half of those were trade reversed, that's 75 people stuck with their full inventories trade banned for the next month. So now it sort of seems I mean, maybe, hey, maybe this is another hypothesis, another theory to throw in the ringer. Now people are waiting until the great untrade ban, because those people can't even buy, right? Because they're trade banned. Guys, type me in the chat if you're trade banned. All of those people who reversed their sales got their knife back. So first off, they can't sell that knife, but that also means they can't buy more knives. I've gotten trade reversed twice. So those two people in the last 2 days, by the way, those two people can't do anything for the next month. So I hate to say it, but I think we have to set another date. Guys, what would be the date that most people trade reversed on? Probably like the 27th or the 28th? Oh god, this is stupid. Or the 30th? So that means we have to wait until November 30th. Once those people who reversed on the 30th of October and the people who reversed on the 29th and the 28th start deciding to sell. So guys, we actually genuinely have to wait until November 30th to see what the market is truly. And I know we've been baiting the October 30th date, but the real date that matters is the 30th of November. That will be the great sell-off. And then, November 30th, another sell-off will happen probably. Stuff will crash, but then it'll recover, and then people will trade reverse again. And then it's going to be every 30th, the great reversal will continue. And continue. And continue. I'm joking, by the way. This is a joke. This is a joke. I don't actually believe this. Bro, imagine every 30th. It's like the hibernation. Every single month, people just keep getting banned and banned and banned and banned and banned. Or it wouldn't be hibernation. It'd be like the great migration of skins. Like they have to keep rotating. Oh man, it's so stupid. Guys, just don't freaking trade reverse. Like, don't be that guy. Why are we doing this? Guys. Right now, I really don't know what to think about the market, which is like horrible because I mean, there's so many people that come into my chat every single day and they're like, should I buy? Should I sell? After seeing what I'm saying here over the last 5 days, like, even I don't know. I'm confuzzled. I'm confused. I don't know what we're waiting for. Like, stuff is just chill. It's just hanging out. I don't know. I would have expected more activity over these last 5 days. The market cap is currently inaccurate because we cannot track trade up covert skins. Item counts are estimates and may not represent the actual number. All right. With that in mind, even with it not being useful, let's check it anyways. The CS2 market cap right now, allegedly, is $5.2 billion. $5.2 billion. Allegedly. 5.2 bill. What I would say, it's still, it's like somewhat useful, a little bit, not really. But what this site is useful for, Price Empire, is these numbers right here. Buzzkill, up 16%. But then again, not really, because this this count is probably like down by 5,000 as well. You know what I mean? This number is as real as your premier rating. Bro, what do you mean? My premier rating is way too low. So maybe that means that this number is too low, if that's what you're trying to say. With that in mind, does that mean all trade up ever never got taken into account? That would mean it was never right. Yeah. But it can never be accurate because we just don't know the actual numbers because Valve won't tell us. I think too many people with knives don't want to accept that knives are cheaper now than pre-crash, and don't sell or trade. That's honestly not a bad theory as well. Like, of course there's going to be the panic sellers who are just like, I want out of the market. And then they'll come back eventually. But like for now, no, I want out. But it just comes down to like your mind's wherewithal to like horrible stuff going on to your money. Like, for better or worse, I've gotten used to just like, bang, I'm $10,000 today. It's just like, it is what it is. Panic selling or panic buying is just like a part of the market, but you just have to be stronger than it and not be that guy, which is hard, basically impossible, but it's just like a reflex, or it's just like a muscle you can train. Yeah. Make sure to subscribe.